Good morning, this is Ted from The Devil's in the Detail. Today, I thought I'd start off by giving some idea of what my plans are with the car. You've probably seen by now that all the wet work was done yesterday. All the wheel arches are clean, the wheels have been off and cleaned. The barrels and the wheels are going to be polished, so they're coming back off. There's a couple of things though before I start. Let's just get a light. I'll show you some of the car has recently been purchased from a dealer's and it's been mopped to death. Now I've got to do paint readings all around the car. I've already initially had a look, and this wing has been polished to death. So I've got to be careful with this one. There's a couple of scratches that's got to come out on this panel, but here you'll be able to see there's buffer trails, holograms all over the panel, and some deep scratching in the door there. But I'm going to go over this. There's some lack of pop to deal with in this wing, but again, you know, the car's generally had a right good mopping, and not very well, I have to say. Basically it's just left coarse polish marks in every panel. There's a few, you know, quite bad scratches around the front. But my initial thoughts is that, you know, it just needs to be all corrected properly. So when I do the paint measurements, I will show you. But I have a couple of niggles before I start, and this is the state of the rubbers all around the car. They're acid etched and very lackluster. You know, it's had acid washes, and basically the rubbers leave a lot to be desired, including the seal around the sunroof. So I've had a little start to see what I'm going to need to get them back. As you can see, I've done a little section here, and we're getting them back, you know, good enough then to be treated and coated. So first of all, before I even start the detailing, there's a couple of things that I want to do, and I thought I'd explain why. First job will be to get it back up in the air, get the wheels off, and I'm going to remove the inner arch liner from this wing so that I can book the dent man to come and repair the dents. So that's the first job. Once the wheels are back off, they'll stay off until they're polished and ceramic coated. So that's the first job. Then I'm going to clean all the rubbers on the car before I mask the rubbers off, because you can see where, even though I cleaned it yesterday and brushed all these out, there's still residue of polish that needs to be removed from previous polishing. It's all under this rubber look. And so as I go around and clean all the rubbers up, I'll be removing all this paste residue from the previous polish. So as I'm going around the car then, I'll be looking for any stone chips that need, there's a couple there, there's one down there, and I'll start the process of loading the paint into them. I'm going to just layer the paint gently each day until I get to the panel, and they'll be nibbed and polished. Another concern that I have, and as you can see, the car does look good. You know, from 2 feet away, it looks glorious. But the spoiler paintwork doesn't match the finish of the rest of the panels. So I think this is going to have a bit of a wet flat to try and bring it in line with the finish on the rest of the car, because it's obviously been painted and it's been left really orange peeled and a bit lackluster. There's not a lot of gloss on it. I suppose somebody's put something on it and dragged it across. There are scratches in it, you know, already, from where people put stuff on and peel it off. So there's a few jobs I've got to do before I even start the paintwork, you know. So I'm going to go around the car meticulously, and we're going to try and correct every fault that I can find. I want to get done before I start the polishing process. The sill covers, I shall, once they're jacked up, I'll get underneath, unbolt them, see if they'll reclip in, and reposition them and tighten them back up, and then I can clean all that. The lower plastics and everything will be done when that's done. So there's quite a bit of work to do before we get to the polishing, but you know, I've got to mask all this off. So I want to remove all the previous work that's been done. I want to remove all the signs that's been done, and then I can mask it all off properly before I start. I mean, you can see if I just lift the rubbers, you can see there's paint residue under all the rubbers. So, you know, it doesn't sound a lot, but you know, these are the sort of things which are, when the car's finished, it will set it off better. You know, it's having a full detail just doesn't end at the paintwork. You know, we're going to try and take care of everything. So once I've got it all up in the air, I can give you a look at the arches that was cleaned yesterday. They're untreated at the moment, and they'll be left until the end before all the plastics are treated. But you know, it's a pretty car. As you know, I'm a Porsche enthusiast myself, so you know, I really enjoy making these look exceptional. The paint readings are the only thing that's going to hold me back. Like I say, it has been polished to death by the dealerships. You know, they haven't done what you'd call a really good job. You know, there's damage from the polishing. So anyway, I'm going to get on. I'm going to get it jacked up in the air, and I'll show you a bit more later. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.